That's a gold is somebody who worries about other people a lot because they have knowledge of their needs that would be very difficult to explain how they would know that. And actually don't really see themselves in the big picture.
That's interesting.
So, so that's a big feature of how I approach life. I actually do. I know things at times, not all the times. I'm not a clairvoyant, but I do know things at times where I wonder, how come I know that? And and depending on your situation, it can show up differently. Certainly one thing is when you have all kinds of information coming at you, feelings of what you think of other people are feeling or doing or needing, you can worry a lot, and your life feels like you have an unending stream of jobs to do, to the point where, in fact, if you get a little behind, you almost might feel, and I do feel this, that you're being attacked. So it's like, you know, my first sessions with Detox actually was about 10 years ago. And within a very few months, I had made big changes in my life to start to look after myself. I'm laughing because I look back and I'm thinking, how did I ever think this was possible? But I've separated to teenagers, and with a business partner, I built a family practice. Meaning it was ground there, we built a clinic. And it also had a walk-in component, and it was open 7 days a week. And it's near the country, and a lot of my patients from the country came and followed me. And, you know, within months, 2 doctors and a part-time, we had 20,000 patients. Charts in our cupboard, yeah. And eventually we recruited other physicians, but this was in the early 2000s, and with severe doctor shortages there. And, but I started to have health issues, and 2000, although I love family practice, I was in my 26th year being in family practice, I trimmed my practice down. I left family practice and became a specialist as a GP psychotherapist. I'd already been doing, third of my practice was that. So I'm showing the influence of what can happen when you get NADAR and 5-year acupuncture. In somebody who's a gold, you start to see that you're a real person, and that working 70 to 100 hours a week, and having quite a bit of sacrifices, and it is really not, and your health can suffer, isn't the way to go. Last fall I had a refresher with Dr. Bailey, and I can still see the continuation of some of the changes. One aspect, not only do I tend to worry about people and try to look after them, I also have the ability to be very direct, quick, spontaneous. Growing up, both my parents were, I was the firstborn. My parents were inadequate, to say the least. I know now I have 2 genes for celiac gluten sensitivity, so each of my parents are affected. I call it celiac brain. I don't think I'll hear it anywhere else, but you know, I know now why that is, but as a very young person, there were times where I had to take charge. One of my earliest memories is when I was 3. My father, because he wanted to provide for the family as an immigrant, bought a house, actually a cottage in the country. It was a 2-room cottage, not winterized. no running water. And they tried to make a home out of it. And my mother had a garden, including a flower garden. She had lots of flower gardens, and she loved them. But we were one lot away from a farm, a beef farm. And I remember as a 3-year-old, and they would get out of that farm. They would knock the fences down, and they would go wherever they went, these cows. And I remember one day seeing these cows in the front yard. I grabbed a broom and ran out into the front yard and was swinging it to get the cows out of our front yard because they were eating my mother's flowers. And this could not be. And a few years back, I asked my mother, I said, I have this memory. I don't, like, is it a real thing or just yeah, it happened. So, to say that I've completely I don't have care in the world and I don't worry about people, is, you know, that's a little too far to say that. I'm still the same person. I did recognize today that I was in the office today doing paperwork and bookkeeping and all that sort of thing. I had, if I paid attention, I could tell I had this voice that was saying, you know, you've got to get all of this done today. You know, you've got to get it done. It's urgent. My heart was pounding. Couldn't get through things fast enough. I guess the big step is to know it's there, and you can talk back to it. Meaning, you know, it's not so urgent. Take your time. Take your breaks as you need to. And 5 o'clock came pretty quick. Get on the Queensway down here. Yeah, so I would, you know, hope that people will find some sort of revelations about what makes them tick, you know, while you're here. I don't know if you want me to go into, I'm pretty sure that I'm what's called a mustard act gold, meaning that I will be able to act like a red when needed and be like the instinctual at times as well. I did anesthetics for 10 years in the country. I would think that, you know, if you're gold and you're worrying about people, anesthesia is not the thing to do. Not unless you can switch into red and say, we got a job to do today. This is the induction, you know, there's the machine for oxygen, to do it, done. You know, I was not, I can't say that I was a natural for an anesthetist. I did great work. The nurses loved me. Patients were awake when I brought them into the recovery room.
That's good.
Yes. Well, there are times that, you know, they were often having to wait 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes for other doctors' patients to wake up, and then have to really hover and look after blood pressure and breathing and things like that. When somebody is awake, it's people can all relax, you know. But it, and to individualize a person's series of medications as part of the anesthesia. So it's so I know looking back, I still have this little bit of worry, and it had to be done for that person. But I can do. I can decide, be determined, quick, and I can be more like the instinctual too. There are times where I can have tremendous periods of hesitation and indecisiveness, and so I would think that I am very close to what's called a mustard act
rainbow gold.
Or rainbow gold.
Yes.
It's another term for it.
Yes.
Yes.
But predominantly gold.
Predominantly gold.